We Are Islamic Republic, Part 10. Why were the Europeans interested in India? Well, at first, the Europeans were seen as business partners rather than as any threat. The splendor and the wealth of the Mughals attracted the Europeans. The opening up of a sea route to the east in the 15th century made direct trade possible. They were keen to trade in spices, cotton, cloth, even opium. Diamonds and gold were in great demand in Europe, and products of Indian metalworkers were highly valued. In the 16th century, many European adventurers believed that reaching India would bring them wealth and fame. The Portuguese, the Dutch, and the French all established their trading post and know to protect their interest military outpost as well. Local rulers, Mughal emperors, were happy to cooperate with this trade that produced profits for everyone. In 1750s, the British and French were the main competitors of trade in India, but finally it was the British East India Company that achieved supremacy. The decline of the Mughals, and after 1761, the end of Maratha power prepared the way for the eventual British takeover of India. Why did respect for Mughal ruler decline? After the empire declined, members of the Mughal dynasty argued and plotted against one another. The officials in Delhi paid less and less attention to the needs of the empire. Between the death of Bahadur Shah in 1712 and the accession of Muhammad Shah in 1719, there were five emperors and they were quite unable to exert any authority. One of them, Jahandar Shah, has been described by historians as frivolous and drunken fool. Another, Shah Jahan too, perhaps fortunately died after only 3 months due to physical and mental disability. Wealthy Mughal families seemed more interested in enjoying themselves than in understanding the problems of their country. They squabbled and fell out with one another. People were not impressed by this kind of behavior, and popular support and respect for them soon faded. What effect did all this have on the Muslims? The effective end of the Mughal rule put the Muslims at a disadvantage. In many cases, their local rulers were now Hindu. Not only were Muslims a minority in terms of population, but they began to feel like one. No longer could they count on occupying senior posts. Their status had changed, and some of them drifted from their faith and failed to follow their religion as they had done before. Disheartened by the failing of their own nobility and shocked by the advance of the Maratha, many Muslims favored the idea of Afghan rule. A Muslim outsider was preferable to the non Muslim Marathas. They were disappointed when Ahmad Shah went back to Afghanistan. They wanted him to stay. They wanted him to establish an Afghan empire in India, but that's what they didn't do. Next, we talk about the influence of Islam, Shah Waliullah's reforms. Why were Shah Waliullah's teachings so important to Muslims? How significant was he in preserving the identity of Muslim community in the 18th century? By the end of Aurangzeb's reign, authority of the Mughal emperors was facing decline. Although Muslims were pleased by Aurangzeb's rule, according to Islam, it provoked anger and revolt from other religious groups, especially the Hindus.